Hi, this is a side-by-side comparison of Prodigio trading platform with Power eTrade Pro for eTrade analysis, internal analysis. Prodigio is only available through thinkorswim. So in order to access this window, I had to open up thinkorswim, and it was part of the trade tab in thinkorswim. But once you open it, what you realize is Prodigio is by itself a trading platform. So it is unlike Trade Ideas, which works as a window in the Power eTrade platform. Prodigio is more of a trading platform. There's options for a portfolio, order book, there's a quote grid, there's charting inside, there's trade vision, trade optics, RTS, strategy selection. It's a very complicated system, especially when being aimed at the retail investor. Trade Optics is the one tab of Prodigio that has any kind of similarities to the Trade Ideas, the way it lives inside of Power eTrade Pro. The first thing that you want to notice is in Trade Optics you can only watch one symbol list at a time. In this particular case, they give you options of various symbol lists like natural gas, broker-dealer, airlines, S&P 100, but you can't watch the entire universe. That's just not available. So right away, that's one of the biggest differences. Also, in this mode right now, I believe it's only available in paper trading mode. You can only select 20 strategies can be deployed. Now, the way they do their strategies is kind of similar to the way we do alerts. So in essence, it's almost like you can only select 20 alerts to some extent. There's some overlap between strategies and our strategies, but for the most part, in this case, so here we're looking at a bull flag daily long, the first one momentum short, a couple of other ones, but because, and this is how you select them, but because there's limitations on how many you can select, see, I've already reached the 20 because I basically asked to look for 20 events. So here I'm scrolling down, and again, notice that you only have the option of the symbol list to look at. There's some filtering. No type of filtering like you have in Trade Ideas, which again we always suggest that the filtering ability is the building blocks that give the end user the power to create any kind of system. The Prodigio wizards are very complicated and as far as our expert opinion, are completely beyond the realm of any kind of normal retail investor. So again, they have some technical patterns, but if you've selected more than 20 of these, you can't, it's total, you can't select any of the other ones. So I'm going to deselect some, and then I'll select a couple of these. But see, that's it. Now that I've selected these three, that's it. I can't select any more. So there's a lot of limitations. One of the biggest differences is the UI concept. I have to keep all of these elements open, and the only way I can access the actual data is by scrolling down. So in order for me to see the signals, I have to scroll down, but notice that again, all of this is still part of the platform. This is a very bulky interface. You can't pop out the actual window where you're looking at the results, because the way it's designed is you have to basically be trading on this execution panel, not really on the actual thinkorswim execution panel. So it's hard to imagine that this is going to have a lot of traction because it's in essence competing with its own brother inside of thinkorswim. So first of all, the reason why we have these in side-by-side comparisons so you can see is that Trade Optics, while their videos and all of that stuff suggest that it's in real time, is not in real-time streaming. It's batched updates every 1 minute, and you can tell by look at the timestamps here. Notice again, I have this up, and the last event here happened at 13:33, which is right now, but the one before it was 13:31, so 2 minutes ago. If you look at the Trade Ideas strategy scanner window inside Power Retrade Pro, you can see the difference between this type of approach to data versus the approach that we have, and it's also the difference in the technology and the prowess of being able to stream data. Streaming data is very difficult, and their database just doesn't have that kind of capacity to be able to crunch the data and stream the data. It's batched upload. And all of that means that it's a completely different data structure. Again, you can see that nothing new is coming through, although we're watching all of the events that, in theory, should be updating. But there's two things. Number one, it doesn't stream in real time. Number two, we're only watching the S&P 500, whereas here you're watching the entire universe. So they're just very different animals, and although there is some overlap in terms of this is an idea and this is an idea, and these ideas, you know, are both hopefully possibly linked to darts, like just like this, and here I can click on a symbol, and here we go. See, like you just batched uploaded 1, 2, 3, 4 uploads 2 minutes ago. So again, it's a totally different approach. And if I click load Intel, you know, it does the charting. There's a nice feature in here where you can sort of see what the pattern is on the chart if you want to. But again, notice that takes you to a different tab and away from your Trade Optics tab, which means that, you know, as you're making these decisions, you kind of have to move around the software in a what seems to be an unintuitive way. You can't have them both together, which is the ideal option, so that you can kind of peruse through the setups as they're happening. Now this part of, again, we like this part, and we have suggested working with this with E-Trade by us working together with your technical team and your charting. We can put any of these patterns that we have all the data points for inside your charts. That's a nice feature, and I think investors would like that, but that would require us to do something together. So, like I said, the only similarity that we can really tell you is that there are events that happen in a time-based way. But again, you can see the big difference is just this is a much higher level user interface. It's updating in real time. It's at the speed of today's market. Whereas this, there's two things. It's not updating in real time, it's batched, and it's a separate trading program inside of a trading program. Part of this has to do with how Prodigio came to exist. It was a product that TD Ameritrade acquired by purchasing a company called Empower Trading, and they've been working for, I think, several years in trying to integrate this product into Thinkorswim. And that whole process in and of itself is a very, you know, difficult process, because they also acquired Thinkorswim, and as we understand, a lot of the engineers that used to be in Thinkorswim have left, including Tom Sosnoff. So there's a lot of stuff going on there that makes this a little unintuitive. I'm going to clear the signals. So notice when I cleared the signals, all of a sudden you see that the menu appears, which again is like, it's a little confusing because it's just not how one would want to view this data intuitively. So we're going to wait until something updates, and you're going to get to see. Meanwhile, notice how many events have come through this window that's streaming information in real time. So again, nothing's happening. I can go to strategy setup and actually make it even slower, so we can compare a little bit if I put more filtering into the strategy by, for example, putting maybe a min current volume of 3. So saying that something predefined, sorry, okay, I would have to start from scratch, but you get the idea. If we can make this slower if we wanted to, but still, while all this has happened, I haven't changed any of the settings in Prodigio, but nothing's come through. And part of the reason is you're only watching a very small universe set at one time, and all the uploads are batched together. So this is a high-level overview. We really don't see this as a competing product to us at all. Again, there's just this seems to be a very early stage software product that has a lot of work ahead of itself if it wants to really compete in the area where Trade Ideas is dominant, and it's not there yet. I hope this helps you see how there's a difference between Prodigio and Trade Ideas. Again, you could get into the details. We have tons more filters and tons more alerts, and the way we customize things is much more intuitive and easier for people to do. And even though our product may seem difficult for the average user, I can assure you that working in the confines of this system, where trade vision and trade optics are just tabs in a very large environment. Step 1, rule builder. Step 2, strategy builder. Step 3, backtest, deploy. I mean, there's a lot of steps, and their drag and drop methodology, while sounds good in theory, is very tricky to actually do. So again, here's the batch upload, and this is what it looks like. So these are the high-level differences between Strategy Scanner and Prodigio, and we hope this helps you understand your competition better.